Hi guys, it's James here from Optics Warehouse, and today, tonight I'm going to be doing a video from a slightly different aspect. I'm actually out here in the field, ready, looking out for some Charlies. And the reason I'm here is because I want to show you this fantastic new piece of kit I've got from HIK, and that is the HIKMICRO Condor. Now this one here is the CQ50L, so that is the top of the range, 640 sensor, 12 microns and a sub 20 millikelvin net D. Now the Condor is obviously brand new on the market, as we've just established. As I say, you can see on here it is very similar to that of a Griffin chassis. However, it is just completely thermal based with a laser rangefinder. So in theory, you could actually say that it is a HIKMICRO Falcon with a laser rangefinder. But as I say, I've been out with this past few nights now, and I have to say this is an absolutely phenomenal piece of kit. So the image it produces, the brand new features it has on it compared to that of the Falcon and of the Griffin, I say this really does produce a high quality image and piece of kit that you can use out in the field. So I just run through just the ergonomics quickly. As you can see, it is more sort of that sort of like normal sort of hand size. So I haven't got normal size hands, so to speak. So, and you've got the 4 different types of buttons on the top there, so it's nice and easy for you to just alternate between each one. Each of them has their own primary and secondary function. Of course, I will go through that in sort of like a quick fire in the studio. But as I say, for ease of use, you just go through your zoom, your menu, your laser range finding, and your on and off. Nice, simple, pimple, all the bits and pieces you want. And then as a secondary function of the laser range finding, you can take your pictures and do your recording as well. Internally, as I say, there are a couple of new features. One being the user interface 2.0, which you'll see in the footage in a second I will go through. Included in that, you have what's now called the Zoom Pro, which again enhances your image even more so from the Image Pro that is of course on here as well. And one other feature that I do really like that I have seen pop up on this is the warm and cold feature. So that allows you to then even get a different perspective, sort of like that sort of bluish black and white, if that makes sense. That's sort of like a more greeny sepia sort of black and white, depending on the situation you are in. Now tonight I'm out on a particularly cold night. First one of the winter, I'd say, especially over the past couple of days. The temperature has dropped. Just looking here, yeah, it is. We're looking at sort of 3 degrees, and it is at the moment. It's only sort of like 10:30, so it's not too late. It's just the start of the evening. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to go through some footage. You have a look at it, let me know your thoughts, and then we'll come to it at the end. As I say, fantastic new basic piece of kit from HIKMICRO. Runs again off a standard 18650. Nice sort of rubber eyepiece on the back there. This is the HIKMICRO Condor CQ50. Okay, so first you can see here we have got some red deer hinds. In this particular video, I haven't actually got the Zoom Pro on, so you can see that sort of pixelation that you would expect as you go up into magnification. But for 300 yards, you can quite clearly see exactly what they are, just as I flick through the different colour palettes there. The red hot really accentuating the actual targets themselves. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hinds. There's one just to the left as well. And what I will do now in just a second is I'm just going to change a couple of modes just to show you the difference. And there it is. That is Zoom Pro. I mean, this is in the warm mode as well, and I think that is already an incredibly different picture. That you can quite clearly see, even if I move to black hot there, how visible those deer are at 400 yards. I mean, that is a second to none picture. Just to really emphasise how good Zoom Pro is, here we have a hind at 840, 850 yards, so a fair old distance away, yet you can quite clearly see exactly what it is. And not only that, but you can have a looking around as I start to scan, yeah, those deer at the back there, just over 1,000, just a bit further than the LRF is capable of. But as I scan around, you can really pick up the depths in the tree. That's the Image Pro kicking in there. So we've got some sheep just at the top there. I know they're about 1,200-1,300 yards away, so they're a fair distance away. I'll say, although I just picked up a tree there at 1,054 yards. But just running through, you can see quite clearly here all that real detail that's being picked up of just the background. So any target you do see is going to stick out like a sore thumb. As I said, this is a particularly cold night, just as that hind is there running there. Particularly cold night, so everything really does draw out from daylight's heat. Now, we're seeing a lot of deer in this video because, as I say, being here on Exmoor, there are a lot of red deer running around, especially this time of year, because it's bulving. So you can see, just as I move to sort of the cold mode with the Zoom Pro on, you can see those 2 hinds there. they're basically reacting to hearing different bolving sounds from stags across each side of the valley. But looking at this distance here, like 937,000 yards there, like no problem at all seeing heat targets. To say that hind there sticks out as just as well as a sore thumb. So there's no mistaken identity in that whatsoever. Just as I sort of bring it around again, just panning, just showing you obviously the difference between the sort of that warm and cold mode. The cold, more that sort of traditional style of sort of thermal wear, so sort of like that black and white or bluish hue to it. Just panning around, just having a quick look, as you can see. Obviously, just a bit close range down there, see if I can actually see anything just popping up. So the sheep, just as I switched to black hot there, and as I see, really still pick up the actual details of the scenery, as well as just looking at deer here now with the Zoom Pro really starting to kick in. There you go. Yeah, look, you can still quite clearly tell exactly what those are, even as it just refreshed then. No mistaken identity in that whatsoever. At 840 yards, it really does show off how good the Condor is. And you'll notice through the video, you see the mag at the top left, as I say, is now showing optical rather than sort of 1248 digital, which is, I think, quite a nice addition. But so looking at some deer there a bit closer, you really pick up different heat signatures on those ones as well. And there you go. As I say, you've got a few hinds running across, but say because there are stags bolving either side. Now we just move on some warm mode. I don't know if you can quite catch it there, but there's a fox literally just running into that ditch there. I've got the Zoom Pro on. I say it's obviously quite hard because I say he's just running into a ditch, but I say 730 yards. I saw him run across that field. Okay, so I finished for the night. Unfortunately, I actually pulled up a blank. Didn't see the fox that I wanted to. I saw a couple of foxes on other bits of land across the road, so not my permissions, and they were a bit of a stretch as well. So unfortunately, I didn't want to push it out. But you'll see in the footage actually, I actually clocked one at sort of 700 yards away. So just the Condor there will actually show you the clarity on it, and obviously just how well it does work. Now I'm not surprised. In fact, actually, I didn't see any foxes because I say me obviously living here quite rural Exmoor. Most of you know there's quite a lot of red deer on Exmoor, and those of you who know you're a deer at this time of year, it's the rutting season. So in every field I went into, there'd be a bolving stag, which I'm not going to lie is something quite unique to hear at night, and it makes it feel like you're certainly not alone out there. So it's no surprise I didn't see any foxes out and about tonight really. But as I say, saw the one, bit of a distance away, but you will see it through the footage of the Condor. But just to say, a brief overview of it. I've gone through all the other bits and features. You've had a look at the videos on there. You can see exactly what's going on. What this represents in terms of HIKMICRO, it really is that sort of step up of Gen 2 of products that they bring out, and it's all through that sort of new user interface that's on their system. It's a lot clearer, a lot crisper, has a much quicker start time. I mean, the start time on this unit is less than sort of 2-3 seconds. It is absolutely rapid. There's more sort of like proximity sensors in there, so battery saving bits inside that obviously allow you to, then when you're not using it, it just goes off, puts it in standby mode, screen off mode I should say, sorry actually, and you can then sort of save a bit of power, not having to run through a couple of 18650s a night, especially if you've been out a good few hours like I have tonight. It's in this sort of like nice rubberized chassis. It's weatherproof. Again, they've got a nice little feature on here which I've seen on other models of different brands. A nice little magnet which actually clips to the handle, and I've always thought that's a really handy little feature. Saying it wasn't quite on the magnet there, but really handy little feature there that actually holds it in place. And I think this just shows you how much HIKMICRO have come on in the past sort of 2-3 years that they've been around. I mean, it really is a crisp, clear unit that I could quite happily identify a fox at 450, 500 yards, even on a really clear night, up to sort of 700, 800 yards without a problem at all. There's so many different bits and pieces on here that's going to aid you, making your shooting more effective and efficient. So I think what this represents really is going to be, I know it's used a lot, but I genuinely think this is a game changer on the market. As I say, it's not just obviously in the 640 version. There are you're looking at 4 or 5 other versions on the market as well. But all the same chassis, all sub 20 millikelvin, all that new Image Pro, Zoom Pro, all those features, that warm cold feature on there, 18650, same chassis, blah 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 blah, all that same sort of stuff. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. As I say, a bit of a different setting tonight. I want to show you guys that actually I'm not just in the studio all the time. I do actually go out shooting quite a bit as well. It's just obviously trying to find the opportunity and get the right setting and scenario for you. Now, hopefully, we've got that set up for you here. And I say, and what a product to start it on. And I say the HIKMICRO Condor, fantastic piece of kit. As always, guys, if you've got any questions, don't forget to leave some comments below. But as I say, I've been James, and I really hope you have enjoyed this video here today.